I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone tuning in today for this webinar. So today's session is going to be on digital transformation, which is a pretty important step in today's complex and volatile economy. My name is Jenny, and I work closely with the technological and marketing teams here in Exalogic, and I am pleased to be your host today. My partner and colleague Alison will be joining us later for the Q&A portion of the session. Just a couple of quick, ground rules before we start off today. I just wanted to let you know that everyone is on mute today, and you will remain on mute until the end of the session. If you have any questions, please address them in the Q&A box, and we will address them later in the end of the webinar. If you have any technical issues as well, you can contact us through that Q&A box, and we will be happy to assist you. If you would like to have a personalized experience with any of the products that we mentioned today, please head over to the Request a Demo button, where you can get in touch with one of our experts who can give you more details and more information about those products. And one more thing, last but not least, this session is going to be recorded, and we will actually share a copy of the recording with you after this webinar session. So let's get started. I would like to share with you our agenda for today. So we'll start off by exploring what are the drivers for transformation, as well as the needs and challenges an enterprise often meets on the path to transformation. And this section is brought to you by our Head of Change Management and Marketing Communications, Prithvi Shiv. Next, our Customer Success Executive, Subudh Subramania, would give us an overview of Arise with SAP, as well as a deep dive into the business process intelligence, business technology platform, and the unique SAP business network. We have also prepared a sneak peek demo presented by our SAP solutions expert, Amal Ruge. And of course, in the end of the webinar, we will have a quick Q&A session to address your questions. Feel free to let us know in case you have any questions during the presentations, and we'll address them later. Now that we're ready to kick this webinar off, please welcome Prithvi. Prithvi, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Jenny. I hope we'll be able to actually take you through a valued session where you can have deep insights in terms of how the Rise with SAP program can help your business, and also give you insights in terms of what the drivers and what the factors currently related to the digital transformation processes are. So I'll start with the drivers of digital transformation. Before I start, though, I would like to have a small exercise where, if you can indulge with me for a minute or two. I would like you to imagine a world where the internet hasn't been invented yet. How would this have impacted our response to the pandemic? More importantly, how would this have impacted your business's operations during the pandemic? Now, everything from, say, remote working hubs to factory floors to businesses that use an app-based environment, all these businesses would have a very, very hard time functioning through this time if the internet wasn't present. So as you can see, digital technology has become extremely important for us. It's become a core component of how our everyday lives proceed. And thankfully, we don't really need to indulge in such hypothetical situations. The internet has been invented, and we have been able to use it in large part to address this crisis very meaningfully without too much of an impact in terms of economic impact or in terms of lives and societal impacts as well. But more importantly, apart from the fact that we've been able to address the pandemic meaningfully, it has also additionally opened up new doors, in terms of innovation, in terms of how businesses conduct themselves as well. So as a result, it is not just a challenge, it is also an opportunity for businesses. So I'll also be taking you through those components as well. But before we go, there's another thing that I wanted to let you know about, is the fact that currently, in terms of how businesses are conducting their operations, it is not simply just about survival. Adopting digital technology and digital transformation is not just about survival. It is also about planning for growth. It's also about planning for profitability. So we have had disruptions that have happened to our businesses. We have had disruptions that have happened to our lives. But with the help of digital technologies, we have been able to overcome these challenges. And we're seeing a completely new world which is available to us in terms of opportunities. Now, two most important factors that are at the heart of digital transformation are change and disruption. So when I talk about change, change is a much more gradual process. Organizations usually are able to plan for it. They're able to take their time. They're able to think about what they need to do next before they institute change. And change is a much more gradual process. Disruption, on the other hand, is much more unpredictable. It's much more sudden. You can't plan so much for it. And it's something organizations used to fear a lot before. And even more importantly, the times that we are living in, the idea of change and disruption have moved from being things that would take years together for you to plan for and adapt and evolve into, to a period of months. The pandemic, for example, swept across the world in just a period of 4 to 5 months, where we went from having healthy economies and healthy interactions to everything shutting down and lockdowns affecting businesses globally and disrupting many, many things, whether it's supply chains, consumer demand, consumer sentiments. A lot of things have been disrupted because of the pandemic. So these are issues that we really need to consider. So when we boil down these disruptions and when we reduce it down to the core, there are certain important factors that are driving these disruptions and driving these changes. Number one, obviously, is economic change, which is actually powered by government policies and government policy changes as well. An interesting example of this, for example, would be how privacy laws have changed all around the world. Today, marketing companies or marketing communication companies and sales companies have to be extremely careful in terms of how they manage customer data. As a result of this, it has placed a lot of new challenges for marketing managers and sales managers. So again, government policy there and trade agreements, for example, have had a big impact in terms of how digital transformation is impacting businesses and is becoming an enabler for change as well. Then we also have environmental considerations to think about. We've been hearing a lot about global warming. We've been hearing a lot about how businesses need to move to more sustainable ways of conducting their operations. And this has also had an impact in terms of how technology has become an integral part of business operations. The idea of carbon footprint, for example, the idea of carbon trading, for example. These kind of concepts have become extremely important for businesses, and there is a lot of room that businesses need to make in terms of their operations to accommodate these kind of environmental concerns as well. Moving on, we also have technological disruption that's happening, powered by the emergence of new technologies like IoT or artificial intelligence. All these coming together have had a big impact in terms of businesses, in terms of how they conduct their operations, in terms of how they're prepared for disruption. A lot of times earlier, businesses would actually be afraid of the concept of disruption. But now, because of what is happening, businesses not only want to be able to predict what the next big thing is, they want to effectively be the ones doing the disruption. So this will allow them to become leaders instead of followers in the sector, which, as you may all know, has many advantages attached to it. And this finally leads to competitiveness, which is at the very core of how your business is conducting its operation, because your business competitiveness is the edge that sets you apart from everybody else in the market. So from the perspective of competitiveness, we probably could look at customer centricity as being a very, very important principle for businesses today. The customer today is at the heart of how businesses conduct their operations, And customer happiness, customer satisfaction has become very important. It's become important measures of business success as well. And customers today have become much more demanding. They become more technologically savvy as well. They want to be able to access your services and your products everywhere and anywhere at any given point of time. They use their cell phones, they use their laptops, they use other devices to make their purchase decisions. They want to interact with you on social media. They want to be able to buy things from your website. So as a result, you have to have digitally enabled business to be able to interact with your customer at every given touch point that they want to interact with you at. So we've now talked about all the factors that are driving digital transformation. But what does it mean for a business who's now understood that digital transformation is important, but what kind of challenges would they face as a result of these drivers? Let me just dwell on a few of these factors. We can divide these challenges into two major components. One, obviously, is your business-related challenges, which can further be subdivided into operational and strategic challenges. So this could be, for example, reducing your total cost of operations and ownership. It could be reducing cost of having an infrastructure in place, or it could also be to do with reducing process complexity to help your employees not only be able to use new software and services, but to also be productive and efficient in terms of doing so as well. And from the operational side of things, we also have your customers' demands, especially from an omni-channel experience, where they want to be able to interact with you everywhere and anywhere, as I've talked about already. From a strategic side, we also have, as a result of these new technologies that are emerging, new business models, which are again a function of the disruptions that are happening in the industry, and also a need for being present everywhere and a need to expand as well. So globalization and growth expectations are also very important components of strategic challenges that businesses need to address in this new normal period. All this translates into new challenges for the IT team now. So traditional businesses which operate with an on-premise model now have to start rethinking about how they can start looking at having their services and their infrastructure available to their employees, to their clients, to their stakeholders everywhere and anywhere. So migration to the cloud has become a very important challenge for IT teams as well. As a result of this, we also now looking at how companies can need to integrate their legacy systems with the new emerging technologies that are coming in. How do you take software that has been around for 4 years or 3 years, residing in systems and hardware within your premise to the cloud? How can we also make these services and these software available to new people and to people across the company while creating a seamless service experience as well? So integration has also become important, and it's also a big challenge. As a result of this, again, we have the need for customization. What degree of customization is acceptable? How much of it is available on the cloud, and how much of it is going to be of benefit to your business as well? So again, that will require a lot of thinking by the IT teams as well. And finally, after all these things have been considered, you also need to look at the data architecture that can power and empower your cloud systems as well as your businesses. So when we take all these factors and all these challenges into consideration, what we are left with is the idea of an intelligent enterprise. Now, it's not just your operations, it's not just your employees who need to think smartly. Your company and your organization itself needs to be driven by intelligence. So as a result, your business processes and your enterprise ERP also need to be intelligent. And right now, the answer right in front of us, obviously, is a cloud strategy, because it has a lot of answers that address all the challenges that we've covered until now. And it also has a lot of solutions to the issues that we had outlined in terms of challenges and problems for businesses. Most importantly, in the cloud, you get speed and agility. And speed and agility are very crucial to address disruption and to address it in real time. When, for example, earlier it would take years together for you to implement new IT projects in terms of infrastructure or in terms of modules or in terms of processes, today cloud migrations can be done in a period of months and can be done completely, properly, safely, and with the minimum loss of data and minimum loss of integrity in terms of processes. This allows you to create a to create a business that is flexible, that is adaptable, and can always respond to changes and disruptions very, very quickly. Cloud also gives you a predictability in terms of how you can manage systems, and it also allows you to lower costs as well. So you no longer need to, for example, keep planning for upgrading your IT hardware and infrastructure. You don't need to plan for obsolescence of systems that exist. You don't need to think about large extended IT teams to service various requirements. For example, having data centers, data center administrators. All these things are now no longer of importance. Of importance will be IT people who will be able to help your employees integrate with the cloud infrastructure that you have in place, which is obviously a slimmer team. It is also a team that has multidisciplinary practice, so you're able to do much more with fewer people as well. Also, on the cloud, you have access to the latest technologies that are being introduced by global giants like global leaders like SAP. You also have access to the immense potential of the analytics and the data crunching facilities available on the cloud, which will allow you to predict and plan for all the next emerging trends that are going to be important to your sectors. You're able to understand and take better business decisions based on improved intelligence as well. And innovation also allows you to focus on your core business area instead of having to devote time into other aspects which are not central to your business operations. And finally, the cloud is an extremely simple concept to grasp. It is simply about the internet powering your business. You don't need to have complicated hardware residing in your premise. You don't need to have people with different expertise for different requirements. And it is also extremely reliable because this is being supported by SAP. And SAP has proven pedigree in terms of providing reliable and robustly secure systems that can withstand any requirement that comes their way. And finally, and most importantly, as a result of this flexibility and a result of how quickly you can turn things around, your go-to life, for example, your product life cycle, can get significantly reduced. So from conceptualization to go-to-market, the entire stage can take much less time than it used to take before with the help of concepts like low-code or no-code platforms as well. So in a nutshell, the challenges and the requirements are many, but the answer to this is quite straightforward. The cloud provides a variety of different solutions and functions at much lower costs for you, along with giving you the capability, for example, of adopting a single module if you don't need to adopt an entire ERP module, for example. It gives you flexibility there as well. And it also reduces your costs. It gives you an option to access latest technologies every point of time without you having to shift focus from your core business areas as well. And finally, it's simple and easy to use. Your employees will love being on the cloud as well. So without much further ado, I would like to hand over the presentation to Subodh, who will now be taking you through the entire Rise with SAP concept and what it would mean for your business and how it can benefit from it. Subodh, if you can please take over.
Thank you, Prithvi. So before I move on to explaining what exactly the Rise with SAP package is and how exactly it will help your company, there are a couple of things that I would like to address that Prithvi pointed out, which is the new normal. So what are there are some new dimensions in which business success is being measured right now, which I would like to introduce you to. So as we can see, there are a lot of initiatives that are spearheaded by innovators and disruptors that are fueled by the current technology. And we see that entire industries are being transformed and the lines between them are blurring. While the transformation is right now driven by a small number of industry leaders, it is definitely changing the rules of business success for the entire industry. So, which brings us to the point where virtually every organization in the world is experiencing drastic shifts. Now, along with this, there are also other things that come into consideration, such as a customer's expectation of products, the services and the experiences that are offered by the businesses, and also at the same time, the demands of the employee and their demands for more transparency and their strive for more value-adding growth. Taking all of this into consideration, running a more sustainable business and living up to the new corporate responsibilities is becoming an absolute must for everyone. So as a consequence of this, we see that more and more companies are on a constant journey to reinvent themselves. This may be in terms of the products or experiences that the companies are offering, or the way of unlocking new sources of revenue and entering emerging markets. Or it can even be your understanding of efficiency and productivity, as well as the role that customers expect businesses to play in facing and solving these environmental and social challenges that Prithvi just took us through. So in the recent years, if we can see that, and based on a lot of success stories that we see, it makes it obvious that business success in this particular changing environment belongs to those who can adapt the fastest and achieve leadership in these three new dimensions. They are the new growth, which allows businesses to rapidly model innovations and involve step changes in productivity and manage cost effectiveness, which is the new minimum. And finally, brings us to sustainability and responsibility, which is the new standard. This brings us to the question, where exactly your company is right now. So we understand that every company has a unique starting point. So you may be a company that is a digitally grown startup or another innovator which has already embraced standardized processes and cloud architecture, but you're looking for solutions that can scale and grow and push those innovations forward at an increasingly fast pace. You might also be a company with a longer heritage and history that is facing a complex or often highly customized on-premise system architectures. Although these systems have delivered for decades, they carry a higher cost and are limiting the ability of the company to adapt and innovate quickly. It might also be a company that have just started their journey into the new world of modular ERP cloud applications, but they are still in the very early stages and aren't yet seeing the power of transformation. While also we have businesses that are starting at the outer edges of their businesses and probably moving selective markets or processes or specific businesses to the cloud. And you are now at a point where you must determine how to link those innovations to the core of your business. The point I'd like to make here is that the path is not a singular path forward, but every business is definitely moving forward or either looking forward. Which brings us to who exactly will immediately benefit from RISE with SAP. So we have existing ESE installed base customers who are looking for more cost-effective options, and given the new guidelines coming in, are looking to move to a more robust system. Then we have customers who are who are already using SAP S/4HANA, but they have an on-premise setup and are looking to go for a brownfield implementation. Also, like I mentioned in the previous slide, we have new businesses that are foraging into the world of modular ERP solutions. So these are the ones who can immediately benefit from RISE with SAP. So what exactly is RISE with SAP and what does it entail? So the RISE with SAP is basically an intelligent enterprise strategy developed here at SAP to help companies to exactly do what we have been speaking of in the past, in the couple of slides before, and also to address the challenges that we have mentioned. So the SAP RISE with SAP package includes an intelligent suite, which is at the heart of this strategy, with SAP S/4HANA Cloud at its center, which handles all the core processes of the businesses, allowing robust dashboards and also instant customization and to build a proper experience for either your customers or your employees. Then along with that, we have the industry cloud that supplements that core processes, delivering highly verticalized and innovative applications for specific industries. Now, with the SAP Industry Cloud, there are already well set up cloud environments which follow best practices of that particular industries that can be easily integrated with your current business. Then we have a unified business process intelligence and a cross-application analytics platform that deliver new dimensions of real-time and predictive data insight and foresight to steer your businesses, which are included in the business process intelligence. One of the examples that I can quote for this would be SAP Signavio. Then the companies also get access to a business network that basically takes this particular strategy outside a company's four walls, allowing you to collaborate seamlessly with trading partners to drive connected processes and also experiences. Finally, all of this is underlaid by a business technology platform. It is the common architecture that delivers a uniform master data layer, cloud-based integration into SAP and third-party solutions, along with a low-code or no-code extension capabilities that allow companies to innovate faster and stay lifecycle compliant on top of their core applications. Moving on. Now we look at how exactly choosing RISE with SAP is beneficial to address some of the challenges that businesses are facing today. So some of the challenges could be cloud transformation benefits may take longer to be realized, but by choosing RISE with SAP, you get predictable cost of migration and a definitely faster return of investment. Then another challenge would be completing cloud transformation may be too much to handle for that particular business. But by choosing RISE with SAP again, you get cloud economics that fit with your current functional scope. Then customized processes that are running within the business may be slowing down innovation, may be causing roadblocks in the process of innovation. That can be easily addressed again by choosing RISE with SAP, where you get side-by-side innovation and systems delivered directly by SAP. Also, management and maintenance of application landscapes for on-premise setups can easily be addressed by choosing RISE with SAP, where you can effectively look at lowering your cost of operations as a direct benefit from the move to cloud. This all comes under one particular contract and under one responsible party. Finally, we have complexes which may be related to landscapes tied to on-premise releases that can again be easily addressed by choosing RISE with SAP and bringing in standardized system with proven best practices architecture within the cloud. Now, coming back to one of the slides that we went through earlier in the businesses that will be immediately benefited from choosing RISE with SAP, what can be the ultimate goal that you will be looking at? So for existing SAP ECC customers, the immediate and ultimate goal that can be looked at would be accelerated return of investments and business outcomes. For businesses that are already running on SAP S/4HANA, but right now have an on-premise setup, can definitely look at better, more agile, modern, and modular ERP landscape. And the ones who are newly foraging into the modular ERP landscape definitely have an option for continuous innovation. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite Amol to take you through to the demo system and give you a sneak peek of the demo that we have for today. Over to you, Amol.
Yeah, thanks, Subodh. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so hi, welcome everyone. To start with the demo, we have the scenario or story which we have mapped for demo purpose, where we are going to take you as whenever we are going to start any financial new year, okay? We start with the planning and budgeting of those financial are coming up. So we are taking the journey from the financial year start to a process end, where we are going to record transactions and where we are going to see how it's impacting in my business and how easy to use us and how easy to do some analytic reports, okay? So to start with that, initially, as I said, we are going to start with the planning and budgeting concept. Then using that planning and budgeting, we will go in the system and we'll try to procure using that particular budget, and we'll see how the budgeting works, how the procurement works. Then we will, while procurement, we'll deep dive in the asset accounting as well, where we will see, okay, the procurement of the asset and the barcode, how it's working, and the physical count of the assets, how it will work. And there are some reports depend on the asset registers, reporting, or physical verification of the assets, how it can be carried out. Then we will move then for the inquiry to or order to cash process, where we have the inquiry, where we have the quotations, and then we will going for the billing for the customer and payment from the customer. At all, once we receive the payment from the customer, last part comes in part of the treasury, where we are receiving some of the payments, and at the same time we are making the payments to our vendors or suppliers. Okay, so how those going to impact on our day-to-day transactions, and how easy we can manage this with SAP RISE, and at the same time how the easiness do the things at easily and a simple way, we will find out over there. And not least, we will try to dig on the some SAP analytic reports, which will be prepared for the management purpose. Okay, so before start particular system drive, I want to just highlight some of the points. Now, the RISE with SAP has the IS specific solutions who are already in the SAP, who knows what is the industry innovation solutions are there. So SAP with RISE is already there, and it has the well capability to handle those. Okay, with this, I'm going to jump in the system. So let me share the screen and just wait for a minute. So yeah, now as you can see, this is our SAP landing page, where I have done the login, and it came to me like this, where I have the multiple tiles and different apps. All the tiles what we are seeing are those different apps inbuilt. Okay, so now who are new for SAP might be this is something new, but yeah, SAP, the new version which we call S4HANA, is come with the Fury interface, not the earlier what we interface we have. Okay, so now when we are saying the starting point, we are, as we discussed, we are going to start with the budget control system, where each department will raise their request for the budgeting. So yeah, is the only way to doing the budgeting? No, there are available options from SAP where you can do top to bottom budgeting or bottom to top. What is the bottom to top budgeting? Means where we are requesting to the people or a department users to make what is their required budget. Okay, that is the bottom to top. And top to bottom, where depend on the certain data of the last year, we are going to do a budgeting for the coming year. Okay, so now I'm going to take one scenario which we called as a bottom to top. So here the every end user department who are going to looking for the budget, he has the app called create budget documents. Okay, so here now I'm going to make, I'm as a user, I'm going to request a new budget. At the same time, I can ask for transfer, return, or a supplement some extra budget if required. Okay, so now I have given the data, I am putting the year for which year I need. Then I am just going to select for which department I am looking for this budget. So we have all the departments over here. I'm going to take this for financial head office. Okay, and then I'm going to do for which expenses we need this budget. Again, if you know directly the budget head, you can put that. If I'm not aware, I can go directly and select, and I will say continue. Now I have given some of the data, and I will put the budget, and I will put my mark, please approve, or whatever the details we are looking for. Okay, so once you're done with your request, just go, and I'm going to pre-post. Okay, once I do the pre-post, it is be forwarded to a responsible person. Here we can see the system has generated a document, and it has forwarded for the approval to respective persons. Okay, depend on the organization, whatever we have in the organization. Okay, so now this is the login for the user. Now I will stop sharing, and I will come back again with the screen of the owner who's responsible for approval. Okay, just a minute. So now I'm going to share again screen, where we will see the approver screen. Okay, so now I am in approver screen. I will just refresh. So this is the approver screen. You can see here is I have inbox where I am just logging in and I'm going to see, okay, there is a document available which came for the approval document for 2022. And I will open this task, which budget is requested, okay? So there is an attachment, this attachment has this budgeting document. Either I can click here or I can open my task. I can suspend, I can forward if I am not the person, I can forward this, and claim and show log is also there. So just I'm going to open this task, and just some defaults I'm going to set. So how the layout should be for me. Now once that is done, now you can see the requested, whatever the details will be there, how much budget is requested and approve required. So I will select this and I will say approve, reject, okay? So in this case, I am going to approve, I will approve, and it will come out. Okay, now I have done the approval. So now again, I will stop the sharing and I will go back to user who is responsible to do all this transaction, who is requested for the budget, okay? So now he might be available the budget, and then we will try to see how his budget is working and how he is working on that budget. Now this is the earlier screen from where we left, okay? Now we got the approval. Now the budget. Now budget is approved, and I want to see how is the budget looks like. So we have their budget dashboards as well. Here in my budget, on the fly, it can show me what is the consumed budget, what is consumable budget, and what is the available budget. Okay, so total budget, consumed budgets is net of your available budget. So let me go inside and see what is the budget available for my department. As we have earlier selected department as a finance, I can go like finance department, and let's see what is the budget over there for the finance head office. Now I will execute, and you can see here, it is showing my what is the current budget, okay, and what is my original budget, and if there is any return or any extra budget is requested, and the transfer budget, if there is any transfer happen from any other department to or any other head to this head, okay. So this is the high level. Now we can see that for other expenses, there is a total budget 3,100. Out of that, original budget is 3,080. So now I'm just going back again, and I will see, okay, how much I have already consumed from this budget. Okay. So now we have here the report, which will tell us, okay, you have the budget. I will just type, and you can see the SAP beauty. Once you start the writing, automatically in a backend system will be search what you are trying to find out, and depend on that, it will bring the values. Now I am selecting again the finance department, and you can see, okay, there is a consumable budget is 360. Out of that, I have already consumed 300, and the available budget is a 60. Okay. So now, if I try to post any invoice which is more than 60, it should throw me the error, correct? So we'll try that as well. In the system, I'm moving to the new page called Accounts Payable, where I have some apps already as a favorite is I have added. Now I'm going to create invoice. In the Create Invoice tab, I'm going to just try to book some more expenses. So it should not allow me, it should give me the error. Again, I will put the vendor name, I put the invoice date and the reference, and we'll put somewhere, suppose 100. It is my currency, which I am dealing now, and it is my legal entity currency, and I am taking the expenses which we take for other expenses. Okay, and then I will put 100, and then the department for which department these expenses we are carrying out. I will select here as a finance department. Okay, so let me select. This is the finance department over here in the second line. So I will select this and I'll say continue. Now, as you can see, I have given the 100 dirhams, okay? And we has already checked in the budget report that the budget is available for only 60. So I will try to post. System should give me the error. See, so what system is saying, now the 40 AED, the budget is got exceeded, okay? So already I'm trying to push with the 100, but already there is a budget for only 60 AED, so system doesn't allow to post us. So this way, system is managing the budgeting control in the Rise with SAP or in S/4HANA, okay? So this is about the budget control. And when we have the budgeting control system, as you can see, there is alert management we can do. So right now we have the alert management. There are 2 items which are already consumed more than 80%, and 1 item we have which has consumed almost 90%, 95%. But not a single item is there who has consumed 100% of the budget. Okay, and again the 360 views and all things are there, so I'm not going to jump in that. Now I will move to the next part. Okay, now once the budget is available, we've seen that how the expenses can be controlled. The same time, there is a possibility when we are doing some purchasing, we do the purchase for the assets, correct? So to see the purchase of the assets and manage how the assets are get managed, we'll go in the asset management or the procurement where the asset will be purchased, and I will find out a PO which talks about the asset purchase. Okay, so this is the manage purchase order app. I'm going in this, and I have already created a purchase order for any asset. Okay, so this is the purchase order I have created for the assets. In this, we have multiple details like who is the vendor, what is the price, and what is the net value, what is the purchase organization, and all these details. If I go to item, I can see in the item that there are details available for that particular assets and what I'm going to purchase in detail. So what are the delivery terms, what are the conditions we put all together. Okay, so using this system will be come to know, okay, what is the pricing and all these things. So this price calculation, the asset, when the scheduled delivery date will be there, and what is the account assignment. This is the asset I'm going to buy. So all these details will be there and the purchase order in place. Now, once the purchase order in place, okay, so definitely we have a end-to-end process. Now, what I will do, I will check for those process. What happened with this purchase order? So we have the app called Display Process Flow, okay, where I can search a particular document and I can find out what happened with this particular document. So I have a purchase order and I'm going to see what is happened over here with this purchase order. So now you can see that this purchase order, okay, is created and has the goods receipt already done. Okay, means we have received the goods. Invoice also we have received, and for that invoicing, accounting is taken place. And after accounting as well, we have done the payment as well. Okay, so this is the process flow. What is the beauty of this process flow? I can click on anyone and I can get on the fly some basic information. Okay, so this invoice is posted for this supplier. This is the amount. This is the VAT involvement is there, and this is created by XRFX, which is nothing but me. And if there is any attachment with that invoice is available, it will show here. We can access that. And again, the multiple apps belongs to this particular transaction. So we can go and see the multiple details over here. Okay. So this is about the procurement. Now this is the asset procurement. Once the asset procured, it will be available in the system. Okay. And I want to see the asset details. So I have the app called Asset Accounting Overview, where I can go and I can see for my company what are the assets and what is the total overview of that asset accounting. Okay, so you not need to go and find each and every transaction. At a single point, you can get all those details which are required as an overview for the asset accounting. Okay, just let me refresh. So in this app, system will bring all the details belongs to the assets for that company with the depreciation and what are the purchase orders are raised for those assets and what are the future transactions done on that asset. Okay, so I will say for the company code XI and for the period 1, and I will say depreciation area 1 and sorry, not 51, and I will say go. Now you can see the system has bring all the details over here. In this, we can identify that, okay, depreciation value to be posted is nothing because we are in the period 1 I put, and we have not posted anything. Okay, so asset, total assets, how much are there? What is the asset transaction, asset balances, asset history sheet? If you want to display the asset, you can go directly jump. And all these are drill down reports, we can say, or getting in further more details. If I want to see the asset balances plant, just click on this. It will take you more details and it will show you the details for asset balances for each and every. Okay. So as you can see, and this information when it's a graphical presentation, so we have the data analysis as well, which you give the table form of the data. Okay, and from here we can send this data to PDF, Excel, or any report from any SAP screen. The functionality is available to send it across the PDF or Excel as it's a native integration available. Okay, once we're done with the asset procurement, now I have the asset in my system, which I purchased from the procurement department. Okay, so and I have seen the reporting over there. Now definitely there is a requirement where I have to print the barcodes for that asset. So yeah, SAP well supported for the barcode printing of the assets. So SAP has inbuilt capability where we can print the barcodes, and standard barcodes formats are supported. So we have total 2 assets in this demo system, and I will try to print the barcodes for these 2 assets. I just go to print preview, and I can see that there are 2 barcodes are generated. Okay, again the format and the details are very depend to customer requirement, and those can be managed. Okay, so this barcode printing can be happen within a SAP. So this is about the barcode printing. Now, once the barcode is done, we are going to deal with the day-to-day transaction in the SAP, and we have a multiple transaction which need to be carried out, correct? So for that, we have the asset reporting. Okay, so where we can see what are the reporting we have for the assets. We can go in detail and we can see the reporting for the assets as well. So just I'm going to do that. I will run the report for the assets. And we'll execute. Again, the details, what is the my legal entity name or a company name, and all these details we will give, and we'll run it. So you can see that there are 2 assets available. Their details, what is the depreciation start date, what is the useful life of those assets, 3 years, and acquisition value is 4,400, and the current year depreciation will be this much. And again, the previous year, as for the demo system, we have created those assets recently and we have posted. So for this year only, there is a depreciation, but not for the last year. Again, these reports are, you can convert in ALV format, you can convert in a graphic, you have the calling report, call-up report. So from here also, you can go to the till line item level using this call-up reports. Okay, so we are not talking about all this. Now, once we're done with the asset accounting, we have seen that barcode printing also supported by asset. Okay, again the depreciation, if I want to see for the year, so depreciation also can be possible to see. Just again there are multiple layout variants we can set and we can generate. I will try to show one more report and then we will go to the next session. So this is about the, again this, I can change the columns, I can add a multiple columns, I can remove the columns. So depend on the business user requirement, these layouts can be flexible and changed at any time, and any report can be sent to the Excel as I shown earlier. Okay, so now once this is done, I have done the asset accounting. Now I already purchased the asset. Now we'll see the sales cycle. So when we are talking about the order to cash, okay, so in the order to cash, SAP has a detailed process flow, which I will try to show you. Okay, in this detailed flow, we will try to, from the billing document, how I can dig all the data related to that billing document. So I will just go inside and I will search for any document which is there. Okay, just let me find the journal entry. It's 900 something, yeah. So now there are documents. So you can see there are multiple documents, but I'm going to take which one belongs to our company. So just go. Now you can see the beauty of SAP. Now I have given the financial document number, which I have in my hand. And depend on that, SAP is giving me the full cycle. What is happen with this document? So it is coming from the sales order, then there is the outbound or delivery, then we have the PJ, and then we have the invoice for this particular activity. So again, here we have the multiple benefits. If I want to know which accounting document generated by this invoice, I just click in detail, it will take me. If I want to see what is the accounting document for this one, it will show me. Again, if I want to see the preceding document of this one, like this. I want to see the preceding, so system will be highlight and show. And if I need any extra information, just click on this new button and it will give the extra information. Okay. And the same time, if I want to see the T accounting of these accountings, just select those both document and click on the display T accounting. System will show you the T accounting concepts, which we use normally traditional accounting concepts. Okay. So what is the debit? What is the credit? What is the revenue debit? What are the charges and all this stuff? Stock will become in a picture. Okay. So this is called T accounting concepts. So now with this, again, we have the concept of the upload general ledger. So you not need to each and every entry. Might be you are getting some Excels. So SAP has the functionality of the direct upload the data in the system. There is a template you can download and upload. For time being, I have already prepared the template. So just go and upload it. It will get uploaded and you will be done with that. So it is getting uploaded. So it is uploaded. There is no issue. I have quit only one document. I will say post and it will generate an accounting document for me. See, one journal has posted and system has created accounting document. Okay. So as such, if you have any type of the business transaction that can be managed in the accounting or in a financial processes, that is very much straightforward and possible. Again, we have the balance sheet and the trial balance. The balance sheet is again and slice and dice basis, means it is not any hard-coded balance sheet where you have to those columns and those rows in the built. So I will try to show one of the features. Now we have this traditional balance sheet where I have the asset. In the asset, I have again the details. Okay, so we used to drill down. Now SAP has come up with the solution. You not need to drill down. You have the dimensions. Where you want this dimension, just pick and drop it. Okay, so system automatically arrange the rows and columns. So this is about the balance sheet. So I'm not going in detail now. We have the time limitations. So I will now go to treasury part where we have the payments. Now we have seen that already we have raised the invoice to customer. We have received the payment. The same times we have processed the invoice for the vendor. Might be there is a time comes to where we have to make the payment for the vendor. Okay, sorry. So now we have the treasury part where we are going to normally deal with the payments. So we have the app called Manage Automatic Payments. For the easiness, I already prepared the payment for the some of the vendors, which I will try to show you. For the last week I have prepared. So now I will see, okay, last week, what are the payments, or last month. You can select as per this month I will say, or last month also I can say. The last month I will say, and I'll say go. You can see there are 13 payments processed. So each payment will be recorded here. And in detail, you can see again what are the payments, what is the payments details, for which particular vendor we have done this.
No technical problems.
Okay, so all these details will be available there. So if I again drill down in detail, so I have the house bank, from which bank I'm going to make payment, for which vendor I'm going to make the payment. So all those details are there. So with this, I will say this payment approval concept is available. And after that, as we have the QA session, so we'll take the questions what we have.
All right. Thank you so much, Amal. We have great interaction from the audience. We have been receiving a lot of questions. So first one is, we have a question from Mr. Santosh Varanasi. He's asking, once we decide to go with cloud solution, how is S4HANA Cloud different from RISE with SAP S4HANA Cloud?
Yeah. So see, S4HANA Cloud, we are talking about the S4 solution, but RISE with SAP comes in a bundle where we have the S4 inbuilt. The same time, we are getting Ariba and the Asset Intelligence Network, some part, and it's come in a bundle. So as intelligent networks and all these things, as a digital transformation, you not need to go for different licenses. Inbuilt in one license, you will get these all things. So if you go for standalone S4HANA, you will get only S4HANA, but RISE with SAP is bundled with multiple things.
Thank you for that. Another follow-up question is, will licensing or other costs make a difference if we go with S4 RISE and S4 Cloud?
Yeah, it's a depend again, means what there are, when we say cloud, we have multiple options, like we have the private, public, and hybrid. So it's a depend totally on the what is the organizational requirement. Yeah, but I will say definitely it will impact on the licenses, license and license cost.
Okay, and then another question from Mr. Daniel Rajab. If you can just summarize, Amol, what does RISE with SAP package include?
Yeah, actually, as I said, just it is with S4, the enterprise solution, what we normally use, where we have these modules comes as a standard, where we have the base functionalities for finance, procurement, sales. Apart from that, as I said, Ariba network is there, logistic, and then we have the AI as asset intelligence network. So these are some add-on things we are getting with the RISE with SAP as a bundle.
Okay, and then question about automated physical inventory. Is barcode feature of asset accounting an additional feature or standard offering from RISE?
Yeah, barcode printing is a standard feature available from SAP, and reading the barcodes when it's come to the physical inventory, it is again the standard solution where you can go and, but the device is not from the SAP, is any barcode reader. You can read that particular things, but it's a depend on the again data what we are looking for.
So are these barcodes required handheld devices for audit or verification? What is the process to get this?
Yeah, so yeah, any barcode to read, we need the device which can read this barcode and record the data. So definitely we need the barcode readers. And once that is read, then we need to plug that data in S4.
Okay. Okay. All right. Does SAP provide assistance with the budgeting process based on previous data?
Yeah, definitely. So as I said, when I am starting, so there are two scenarios. One is the top to bottom and bottom to top. So yeah, definitely when we have the historical data, SAP provides the planning aids or budgeting aids we call. Using that historical data, you can directly go and plan or do the budgeting for the organization, depend on the different formulas.
Okay, thanks, Amol. I think we have 3 more questions. So does SAP provide multi-level approval for budget preparation and control?
Yeah. It is there. It's a standard functionality. So it is available with multi-level approval. Even for the demo purpose, we configured 2 levels. But yeah, it is a multi-level. We can go for that.
Okay, and down to our last 2 questions. Is the bank's communication secure?
Yeah. See, the bank communication management system is well known and is used by most of the organizations who's on the top level. So it is most secured and it is using the banking network. So it is secured.
Okay. And can the batch approval creation be altered to meet the needs of the business?
Yeah. So as per the batches is totally depend on the what logic and rules are requested by the business. So it is a rule can be created as per the business requirements.
All right. Thank you so much, Amol. I think we've covered all of the questions. In case our audience have further questions or would like to book an exclusive demo with us, so Amol and the rest of the team can show more features and functionalities of RISE with SAP, we'd be happy to accommodate you. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prithvi, Subodh, and Amol. We have completed the duration of the session. I'll hand you back to Jenny to close this session. Thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you, Alison. And with this, we conclude our webinar for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to our page for more interesting content and industry best practices from leading experts. We would also appreciate if you could give us feedback about your experience through the email we send out after this webinar. And we wish you a lovely day ahead. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.